Hello and welcome back. This is video number 3, and we are going to discuss the email course formula. So this video is going to be fairly quick. The goal of this is kind of give you a brief overview of the breakdown of the email follow-up series. So it's going to first start out with the welcome email. So you're just going to give them the actual webinar replay, and this is what they are going to sign up for. So they are going to expect this. So they're going to want it right away. So you definitely want to deliver what you promise so that you gain their trust. Now, they're not going to initially buy, and some may not, but the majority of people will not buy just at the welcome email. You're going to have to build and gain their trust over a course of time. Now, this is where the benefit angle 1, benefit angle 2, and of course there are other benefit angles as well. So we're going to talk more about that later, but it doesn't really have to be 2 angles only. It can be 3, it can be 4, and it can even be 5 if you want to kind of prolong it and just give people a good insight, good education, and good value up front. Now, what the benefit angles are is basically going to be different benefits that stand out about your product or service. In other words, the benefit is something that is going to have an impact on the prospects itself. So if you think about benefit versus feature, feature is something like the light bulb is green. Why does that matter? Well, the light bulb is green. Let's say hypothetically, just make something up, but the light bulb is green because it allows you to, it doesn't hurt your eyes, it allows you to work faster or something. So that is going to be the benefit, is why does it matter? Like, why does that feature matter? So that's going to tell people the different reasons why they should actually buy your product or service. So that's what the benefit angle is, and we'll talk about different angles that you can take that we have found to actually work. And then of course, after that, you want to kind of begin to close, and you want to add some scarcity in there. So you want to add a countdown. Talk more about that later on. And then of course, you have the final close, which is when you close down your actual email course. Now, you might be thinking, why should I do that? Wouldn't I lose sales? You'll actually gain sales because people take you more seriously if you close it down. And we'll talk more about like how you can go about doing that, what softwares you can use to actually kind of create a user experience so that it actually closes down. So we'll talk about that later on in the future videos. But for now, let's start with video number 4 and talk about the email swipe, which is going to be the replay and the welcome email. So we'll see you in video number 4. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 4, and we're going to talk about the first email swipe, which is the welcome email or the replay. So after somebody has opted in, they are going to be expecting the webinar replay. So regardless of how you deliver it, the easiest way, in our opinion for now, to deliver it is via autoresponder. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up your autoresponder, which I'll show you later on at the end of this video course, once we go through the email series, how to actually set things up so that when somebody signs up on your autoresponder email list, they will receive the email immediately. So obviously writing the email is not hard at all. So let's just walk through here. So let's go ahead and write out your first welcome email. Let's focus on the emails first. Don't worry about the technology or how to set things up. I'll walk you through step by step. Okay, so this is the email here, and I want to say that I would recommend that you pause this video at any time so that you can simply write down what the email says, and then of course fill in the blanks with the information that relates to your product or service. So up at the top here, we have 3 subject lines. The first one is bracket sign, replay, bracket, space, how to achieve this end desire. So obviously you're going to fill this in with the end desire that the prospect wants to have in relation to your product or service. Now, another thing you can do is replay, space, and then of course the headline from the actual webinar earlier. So when they see this, you want to make sure that your lead capture page has the same headline, the email they receive has the same headline, and when they click on it, the webinar itself has the same headline. Because you got to realize that you're attracting somebody who really wants to sign up to get access to the webinar replay, and the headline is what grabs them in. So you want to make sure that you fulfill that promise by giving them what you promise, right? So that's one thing, but another thing is to keep in mind that you want to make sure that the headline is as short as possible, because when they open it up, regardless of what device, it can be iPhones, it can be iPads, it can be Android devices, and it could be a desktop. So depending on what they open it with, you generally speaking want to keep the headline or the subject line short, because sometimes it'll cut it off. So if you get the right words within a short amount of spacing, you'll be able to actually get their attention, right? So this email is actually very, very short. It just says, hey, first name. So obviously you're going to say, hey, and then if you're collecting the first name, I would put the placeholder here. Now keep in mind that depending on your autoresponder service, if you're using GetResponse or Aweber, it doesn't matter. You just need to put the placeholder right here. So the placeholder obviously will be different depending on the autoresponder service that you choose to use. So we say, hey, first name. If you missed it, here's the replay for a limited amount of time. So we like to put this in here because this says, so you obviously missed the webinar, all right? But here's the replay for a limited amount of time. Now, the reason why we say that is we're building up some scarcity here. So we didn't tell them exactly how much time is left, but we're telling them it's a limited amount of time. And you can tell them later on, when that time closes. And then of course you put your replay link here, which is going to be your webinar page link. And then of course you'll say you'll discover how to achieve this end desire, benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. So if you think about the first email being kind of a table of contents and not just introducing it, but welcoming and allowing them to see maybe the other benefits. So that would pique their interest. Let's say you got 3 benefit desires here. And the reason why we put that is kind of a foresight into what will happen in the future. So if let's say we have 3 benefits right here, that would allow you to create 3 maybe different emails. Or if you have 4, 4 different benefit emails, or two different benefit emails. So I would put that here, 2 benefits or 2 benefit angles here. And then I would say, I would add scarcity if there is a timer. Now, obviously, if there is no timer, you don't need this paragraph. So we can say this replay link will be up only for a short amount of time. Then it will be taken down in X hours. So don't put this off. So if you're interested in finding out how you could achieve this end results and desire, remove the pain or remove the problem. So you're going to put that here. So go ahead and grab your favorite beverage, remove distractions, and click below and sit back and watch this. So obviously you're going to put your replay link here. And the reason why I like to say this is because before the webinar happens, your goal is to remove as much distractions as possible. If you can remove those distractions and get people in the mindset of like not talking on Facebook or anything like that, you will get their attention. But if you don't say that, then people will have all these different windows open. And it's not to say that you'll be able to prevent that, but that allows you to kind of give them guidance and some call to action. So we put the replay link here, put your warm regards, your name, and your company name if that is the case. And then of course, this gives you the opportunity to kind of tell them what's coming up next. So as long as you are transparent with people and you tell them, hey, tomorrow I will be sending you some tips and advice on how to achieve this end desire. So here's what I would normally do. If we scroll back up to the top, we have 3 benefit angles, right? So this is obviously the welcome email. So this does not really have a benefit angle, right? So in this case, I would put benefit 1 right here. And then when I send out the email, the benefit 1 email, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day after that, in that email, I'll then include a PS at the bottom for this. And in that email, I'll include a PS with a sneak peek preview of the benefit angle number 3. So if that makes sense. So really, really basic here. The whole goal is just to welcome them, give them access to what you have promised, add a little scarcity in there, add some sneak peeks, add some timers, get them to remove the distractions, and that's it.